This intern nurse made a mistake on her first day at work. She discovered that she had accidentally injected morphine meant for pain relief into an elderly patient as an anti-inflammatory drug. What terrified her even more was that while 5 milliliters of morphine could be fatal, she had actually injected 100 milliliters into the elderly man. However, strangely, the elderly man remained remarkably calm about it, showing no signs of panic. Instead, he tried to comfort the caregiver not to worry. He even took out a notebook to record this novel method of murder. But Lisa was already in a complete panic, because she had searched through the entire medical kit and couldn't find an antidote. If the elderly man didn't take the antidote in time, Lisa would undoubtedly become a murderer. The panicked Lisa was about to call emergency services, but just as she got through, the elderly man hung up the call. He knew very well that even if they called for help, by the time medical personnel arrived, it would be too late. He also realized this was a carefully orchestrated murder targeting him, intended to frame Lisa. However, unexpectedly, the elderly man didn't want Lisa to be implicated because of him, so he carefully devised a perfect alibi plan for Lisa. As long as Lisa followed what the elderly man said, she would definitely be able to clear her name. However, Lisa had a fatal flaw. She would vomit whenever she lied. So the elderly man instructed her not to lie, but to just tell partial truths. Following the elderly man's plan, Lisa managed to return home without major incident. However, strangely, the next day the elderly man was found dead from a slit throat. Since the elderly man was a renowned philanthropist, news of his death quickly made headlines. Fortunately, the police initially determined it was suicide, so Lisa temporarily escaped suspicion. But she still lived in fear every day. Then one day, Lisa suddenly received a phone call. The caller was a private detective who claimed to have been commissioned by a mysterious person to investigate the elderly man's death, though he didn't know who the client was. However, strangely, after the detective's investigation, he discovered that everyone in this family actually had a motive for murder. This is from the 5-star mystery film Knives Out. The plot constantly twists and is incredibly mind-bending. You'll never know who the killer is until the very end.